Sorry, I'm feeling a little hoarse.
Yourself, could you?
Feeling a little hoarse. The horse liked it too. Alright. I dubbed the Sir Step. Rise, Sir Dubstep. Anyway, I am an idiot. This is F3G2. Big Sexy Dave is behind the camera. Stuff is everywhere. You are so jealous of the stuff because it gets to sit near me. Now I'm going to review some comics, and you're going to wander around your house and think to myself, I know I needed some white noise, but why this? Why? What the hell is wrong with me, and why do I torture myself with the inane dronings of this dork and his comic books? I don't even agree with any of his opinions. He's an ass! He's an ass! And you know what I say to that? Stop watching, Mom! Jesus!
And then there's our friend who watches it on his big screen.
That guy. I don't know why anyone would watch me on the big screen. I don't know why anyone would watch me. Other than the fact that, you know...
Or listen now.
Well, no, we're not a podcast anymore. And we can
stop doing that?
Yeah. He had told me, and then I forgot, and then... Because, you know, we don't rake in the podcast numbers. Apparently, people are here to see this. It makes them feel better about themselves. That's what I think. Alright, let's start with Cyborg number 2. Cyborg number 2. Which is weird because I'd swear it was number 3. I guess I liked the first one so much I must have read it twice.
I believe it.
Well, first off, let's take a look and see. It's Ivan Rice. So it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And what's Walker's first name? Where do you hide your title page, DC? It's like that. So David F. Walker. I don't know who you are. That's okay. I suck at that kind of thing. If you're not Cullen Bunn or Charles Soule,
it's not like comics make it easy nowadays.
Well, if you're not Cullen Bunn, does anyone other than Cullen Bunn write comics? They're like all Cullen Bunn now, aren't they?
Vaughn.
He's everywhere. But this is really, really good. This is, right now, of the, you know, Justice League characters, this is the best book. Because Batman is interesting, but weird, and I'm not entirely happy with the direction. So it's you know, I like it. It's well done, but it's not where I want.
Did they get
where
the
I want it to go
straight? Because it was still inconsistent.
And then the Superman books, we'll get to those in a minute. Yeah. They're not living up to whatever. The Flash book in the New 52 was never great.
No.
The Green Lantern book has had its ups and downs, but now I like the Green Lantern book without Hal in it. Wonder Woman book was one of my favorites, and now it's a book that comes out. And let's see, who else is on the... Aquaman is Cullen Bunn. So, and I like the Aquaman book. I just, you know, the art isn't necessarily impressive, isn't wowing me.
Well, used to.
But this, I think that's everybody on the used Ice League. And Shazam doesn't have a book. He's like, hey, what about me?
Firestorm.
He's not really on the team anymore. They just kind of showed up and like, yeah, we're gonna do this. No, we're not.
No.
Screw you.
Manhunter's also, but not on the team.
Yeah, he's a different.
Not that team.
He's a different thing. So yeah, of the main Justice League characters, this is the best book. It's only up to 2 issues. It's already got David Walker's storytelling, and maybe it's the fact that he's coupled with Ivan Rice, and Ivan Rice worked so well with the man, the myth, the legend, the Jeff Johns. It feels like Jeff Johns in his heyday. You read this and you can, other than the fact that, you know, he refers to being on the Justice League and he's not hanging around with Beast Boy, you can, it doesn't give you any of that New 52 fatigue. A lot of New 52 books, or now the DCU books, have this feel like they're saying, look, it's different! Read it, it's different, it's not, just read different. And they just shove the difference down your throat. This is just good without having, yeah, things are different, but they don't have to force it down you.
Hey, look, subtlety.
There's possibly an interdimensional, possibly a time thing going on, because you've got a dead cyborg and a live cyborg. You've got
hell?
aliens that absorb tech, and you've got a shop. Let's face it, in a world where, you know, more and more people in comic book worlds are able to come up with, oh, I can design this kind of tech, you know, and you've got, you know, the Tony Starks of the world and the John Henrys of the world coming up with, the John Henry Irons of the world coming up with armor and stuff. Sure enough, somebody else can do it. So you've actually got places we can go where veterans are buying, like, almost cyborg level tech, and that's not always, you know, just handing out godlike, you know, superhero level tech to just random people. The character in the story is a veteran, but other people, if you lose a limb, you can go and buy one, which is great. But I don't know that everyone in the world should have, you know, Justice League class artificial limbs.
There's a reason only Star Labs had that stuff.
Yeah, you know. Superman 43 has a cool cover. I like the whole, you know, Superman through the ages. But
that's about it.
Yeah, story-wise, it gives a decent reason for why Lois does what she does. She saves Clark in her own way. She's only just, you know, she's known Clark's identity for like 20 minutes. They end up in bed together, but not as a couple, just as he's passed out in her bed. Everyone saw his impressive super junk. And talk about how human he looks naked, which means, I guess, that how do you say his name? That thing that he did where he's about to have sex with Lois for the first time. And she's like, what is that? My penis. She goes, why does it have pinches? He's like, to grab you? And she's like, no. Apparently that's not the case in canon. But that would have been a good change. That would have, you know.
Oh, dear God.
It would have made, you know, Superboy, and would have to be the ultimate, you know, virgin, because that would have given his identity away, you know. That might be how he told Lana in high school. What the hell is that? They don't all look like this?
Wait, what?
Are you an alien? You're an alien. But yeah, so Clark's being blackmailed by this evil, it's Hoarder, written in like leet speak of online or whatever.
Dear God.
But I'm gonna tell everybody what you do if you don't keep using, and this is why Clark's powers are down. He's been blowing his powers out using that super flare, and this thing has drones that just absorb the power. Ooh. So Lois goes, look, I told everybody your identity. He has nothing on you. You're free. And by free, she means fucked, because at that point,
no power.
Lois's dad shows up with a helicopter and yelling out, I've got kryptonite munitions. And he's like, and Clark's like, you know what, I was wrong, Lois. It was better when you weren't a part of either half of my life. You know, and he jumps, and it's like, oh. So basically, in its own ham-fisted way, seems to be DC going, yeah, Clark's not married to Lois. We changed that. And look, now they're not even friends. We don't even want to, you know. And it's like, okay, you're different. We get it.
And yet it works so well in Injustice.
Yeah, lately, it's like DC is about as subtle about its differences and changes as anyone who vapes telling you they vape. I vape. We know. We made it different. Okay, we get it. I don't know what this was. I think it was me being different. Because I don't normally sit like this. This is Civil War #3. Charles Soule. So damn good. I would read the continuing series of this world.
Let's hope for a good
focuses on General Spidey and General She-Hulk. They're sent in on separate missions. They're each trying to sneak over to the other. We get some great twisted fate of Doc Ock and Kingpin, now merged into King Octopus, King Ock, and then
cool.
The Punishers are cops in Tony's land, because clearly
Thors weren't good enough.
Or maybe in Cap's land. Which side? I have a hard time telling who's on whose side. Yeah, most of the Punishers are cops in Cap's land, weirdly enough, because Tony sends She-Hulk in to find whatever. But one of the Punishers, this is how he is. Yeah, you guessed it. Speedball! I got Speedball. I got Charles Soule Speedball. Well, it's still better than Penance. So.
Oh no, I'm not complaining. I'm just amazed.
Hank Johnson, Agent of Hydra, was both funny and far too long. Because it's literally, he's just this schlep, and Hydra is like an office job for him. I mean, he's out in the field, but he's literally like a punch card, go in. He's got his family, this wife that doesn't respect him, and is like a, she's like, I'm not a nagging shrew, I'm your wife, but she's like a poor man's Lady Macbeth. They play softball with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, like their kids play together and shit. It's funny, but it was long. I'm going to save this, because there's a whole lot of Cullen Bunnages in here, so we'll sit this to the side till I find the others, and we'll make that all happen. Batgirl, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, Tiger's Claws. Batgirl's gonna fight a chick named the Velvet Tiger, who looks a lot like What If Catwoman and the Black Cat had a daughter whose hero was Tigra. It's good and it's cool, and Babs Tarr draws the fuck out of that tiger. The tiger looks gorgeous and makes amazing facial expressions. Something bad is going to happen to Batgirl's friend, who keeps going out into the field when she's not supposed to, including dressed as Batgirl and saying, you know,
oh yeah,
and saying that, you know, yeah, we work together. I'm like a Batgirl operative.
Nope, you're a walking target.
Captain Marvel and the Carol Corps. So good. So good. Don't. No, there's more. Okay, I was gonna say, I can't tell with some of these stories. That's right, this ends with all the Thors coming. And Carol has like the best, you know, just
after them too.
This little expression. She sees the Thors and she's like, oh my doom. They all, you know, because Doom is God, so everybody's like, oh my doom, and for Doom's sake, and all these kind of little Doomisms. This makes me sad, though, because when this is over, Kelly Sue DeConnick will not be writing Captain Marvel anymore. And I'm going to give it a shot, but I was never a fan. I was never, you know, I liked the character on teams and shit, but I was never a big, you know, it's not the character I'm reading the book for. I'll read stuff with Carol Danvers in it. Okay, she was in the X-Men, she was binary, whatever, fine. She was Ms. Marvel. I read all, you know, when I was a kid, I read all the ones when she teamed up with Spidey and whatever, and I think I had some of the Ms. Marvel issues. Because at one point I had to have everything. Because I was a Marvel zombie before there was a book called Marvel Zombies. Before Booster Gold set me free. Thank you!
Blue and gold forever!
That's a weird thing that Booster Gold set me free. Last Days of AntMan. This was hot. Told you I was a little hoarse.
Hawk up along.
This book includes lines such as on one page, while he's flirting with the new Beetle, who is the daughter of Tombstone, or she's flirting with him in a bar, and he's like, "You can buy me a drink," and he's like, "Seriously?" And he's like, "I was an Avenger once." And the day they made it official, everyone could tell I was freaking out. Like I was way over my head. So Cap takes me aside. He puts his hand on my shoulder, looks me straight in the eyes and says, "Scott, I'm sure right about now you're doubting yourself. Don't. This is a great responsibility, of course, but there's just one rule above all others that you need to keep in mind. One rule that can never be broken, no matter what, no matter how many times Tony Stark may tell you otherwise. If you want to be an Avenger, you do not sleep with the supervillains." Next picture is him waking up in bed next to him going, I'm so sorry, Captain America. The best is he's in boxers and the AntMan helmet.
Of course.
He kept it on. And then, of course, it ends with that whiteout fade, as that means the world has ended. There. So as she leaves, saying, "I may actually call you," he says, "You know what? Now that I think about it, maybe it's not so bad if the world ends and then it's gone." But of course, the new Ant-Man series is starting, and he's hanging out with a handful of villains, including that Beetle, which now makes more sense. Sure, he's got his fingers crossed, so maybe he's undercover, maybe not. I don't know, his compadre, Grizzly, a reformed villain that has been working with him, is there, so maybe they got something going on. God knows he and the new Beetle got something going on. But I'll be glad to see the new Beetle because, the Superior Foes of Spider-Man ended, and she was in there, and I liked her.
Oh,
Not as much as Ant-Man does, but, Fight Club 2 continues to be Fight Club 2. This is number 4. It's basically, what do you call it? What's his name when he flips over to his other identity?
Tyler.
Yeah, it's basically the ongoing war of Tyler versus Sebastian. Sebastian's not doing as well as we'd hope. But about as well as you can expect.
Most people don't against Tyler.
Also, Tyler sleeps with Marla. So, yes, Sebastian's the only guy in the world who his wife can cheat on him with him. Justice League 3001. Blue and gold, blue and gold. This is the best book of the week because the blue and gold show up.
Do they actually do anything, or they just show up on the page?
They fight Turtle Boy. A giant future Turtle Boy that turns back and looks like Jimmy Olsen. This is weird. It looks like Jimmy Olsen because there's now a handful of characters that would recognize Jimmy Olsen because you've got Fire and Ice, who've been alive this whole time. Booster and Beetle has been frozen this whole time. And now Supergirl, who's shown up in stasis and is going to be a roommate with the new Flash. Guy still has the mind of original Guy, but the body of a woman. Firestorm says he's going to fix that. Guy, they keep asking, "Are you okay?" And Guy's like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I be?" And is acting like it's not a big deal. He's like, life goes on, what are you going to do? But because he's Guy, they realize, and let's face it, Giffen and DeMatteis have a history of writing Guy with a fractured personality because he was Das Uber Asshole who got punched in the face and became Das Uber Nice Guy, who bonked his head and became Das Uber Asshole again, who bonked his head and became Das Uber Nice Guy, and then for a while went back and forth. So now the idea of this chauvinistic, misogynistic prick, the way they write old version of Guy Gardner, suddenly in the body of a hot chick and saying he's okay with it. He's like, I am being honest. And they're like, you're repressing your true feelings and hiding behind a comforting smokescreen of machismo. And Guy's like, whatever. He wants to go get some brewskis with Wonder Woman. Like you do. So much fun. I love this book. I love that book. Teen Titans. Despero. The art is cool. The concept is cool. The characters are cool. The story is actually no. The concept isn't. The characters are cool, and the art is cool, and everything else ranges from meh to weak and really needs. I mean, it would kill you to just give us a book where the characters.
I want my Titans.
I don't even need my Titans. I just need them to act like not. They're all the same exact person. They're all the same persona in different bodies.
That's lazy even for teenagers.
I mean, I spend literally. This is what I do for a living. Is I spend all day with troubled, arrogant, dare I say, asshole kids. I dare. But
Two alike?
yeah, no, they. My felons are so much cooler than these kids, and I don't even mean cooler as in like they're actually cool, but I mean as in they're
people.
They're people. I mean, they make me nuts, and a lot of times, I just want to bury all of them or myself, whichever is easiest. But
finish your book, you'll be happy.
But yeah, it's all very wooden forced and, by the numbers. Oh, look, the kids are fighting, and this is that, and oh, look, it's angst, and there's this, and it's not working. It needs another reshuffle. You've got all the right elements, but you keep doing these, oh, they're being used, and oh, they're being weapons, and oh, the kids are all... No. They're smarter than that. They're capable. Holy crap, I'm about to give the same speech to, his name, Will Pfeiffer, that I give to some of the parents and other teachers at my school. These kids are capable. Just give them a chance, for Christ's sake, and let them do what they're going to do. Stop expecting the worst out of them and then forcing them to live up to your lowered expectations. I'm having parent-teacher conferences.
In the middle of the damn show. With the internet.
We Are Robin acts a lot closer to my kids. This one gets it right. And, well, maybe these kids aren't all supposed to be like your troubled kid. You know what? I've taught everything. I've spent years teaching the gifted kids, teaching the international baccalaureate kids, teaching the troubled kids, teaching, I think I got to see, average kids once. It's not just that. This who writes this? Romeo. We lose a member, both heroically and foolishly, and that's teenage right there. That's exactly what it's looking for. That noble, valiant effort. With the people who are doing it right are completely convinced that they're fucking it up, and the people who fuck it up are completely convinced that they're doing it right, and that's perfect. Lando knows he's fucking it up. This is Lando number 3. We get a little more insight into apparently Lando at one point is hooked up with a female Imperial Guard.
Sure, why not?
There's some weird stuff going on this ship. There's this badass bounty hunter guy ready to kill them, and this could even be how he ends up befriending, some Ugnaughts before they end up on there. This could be the secret origins of Cloud City, but this is really good. Sinestro Rising. This was a really good issue, a great jumping on point if you haven't been reading the series. Sinestro's starting his latest plan. And the ring, he's getting, let's say, all the green rings on there. It's because all the Green Lanterns are gone. They're in another dimension, time, space, wherever they are.
They ain't here.
So, his daughter, all right, Sarnik is a member, and they recruit this new member who is a very unlikely. It's this little. She looks for all the world like a little teenage alien chick. She's apparently a lot older than that. She gets all excited. She gets this ring and takes it and goes, I can fly. She's all excited. And so happy. And then Sinestro shows up and takes her in, partners her with his daughter, but first kind of explains, this is a great jumping on point because you get this fresh new character being told what's going on, but it's not all exposition. It's storytelling at its finest, really.
You're a harbinger of fear and terror. Enjoy.
Because, Cullen Bunn. And you get some really good insight into both the character and even into Sinestro, because this character with his first take on this gets to say things like, Sinestro's like, we are a fear. We cause. You can cause great fear. and you are an officer in the most feared peacekeeping force in the universe. And this new character, I forget her name, Nax, of the Nadroth Collective. Nax is like Nax is like, wait, so we're scary cops? And he's like, that's far too simplistic, but yes. And she's like, and a fear-based peacekeeping force. These are all oxymorons. How can you be, but he really wants to be not the villains, but be the Green Lanterns, but he thinks you don't will someone into, following the rules. You instill them with fear. So, I guess they're Catholic. Because it reminds me a lot of my childhood.
So true.
I guess the Yellow Lanterns are the Catholic Lanterns.
Space Catholics.
And they just, with the exception of Sinestro, doesn't feel he's the Pope, he feels he's God. That's a big page of comic book. That's huge! What the hell is that? Anyway, now we'll do Aquaman.
Bigger than the Spider-Man book.
Aquaman. Aquaman has to team up with an Atlantean named Guard. Also, we find out what the deal is, if I'm interpreting this correctly, and I'm subject to not. There's a whole lot going on with, why Aquaman's wife, why Mira is so mad, but then Mira shows up enslaved by her sister, so for all I know, her sister has, caused all of this, or that's where it seems like it's going, perhaps. We find out the origins of this other world. Aquaman talks to that big fishy version of Poseidon from the original half of the original run of New 52 Wonder Woman. That kind of made me happy that that's sticking around. Poseidon got to be kind of an arrogant dick, but he's the one who tells Aquaman, he's like, yeah, the other world, it's just Atlantis. It's their world, it's their Atlantis, the two are the same thing, no big deal. And Aquaman's like, you knew? He's like, yeah. He's like, why didn't you tell anyone? He goes, oh my god, I don't have to tell anybody shit. Because Greek gods. Another Aquaman. Magneto, Pie Cullenbone.
Is that the last one?
Magneto fights to the end, and in the end it is his own anger that consumes him.
Sounds about right.
He comes basically to grips with the fact that, I'm not the hero. I'm always the monster. You get some good flashbacks of, various points in Aquaman. In Magneto's life. The world kind of ends with this, what's her face? Lorna Dane, his daughter there, is like, my father always hated this world, hated these people, but still, he tried. He went out, and he does have this epiphany where his last spoken words, he thinks some stuff, but his last spoken words were, Charles, why didn't I see? So, and then the astral projection form of Charles Xavier comes up for the last second. Told you! Told you so! Ghostbusters get real with the Ghostbusters meet the real Ghostbusters. The greatest thing ever. Why is this not continuing to be ongoing? I want more. Eric Burnham, Dan Schoening, artwork, Ghostbusters. It's incredible. It's just Ray gets slimed by cartoon Slimer. Venkman is even a dick to Venkman. We have cartoon, real Ghostbuster Venkman says to actual Venkman, hey, other me, we need a distraction. Quick, blind him with your bald spot. And actual Venkman goes, you gone? I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh, that's too perfect.
They're like horrible to themselves. Whereas, of course, the Rays get along, the Egons question each other.
And Winston's just
the
along
Winstons
for the ride.
both just kind of, shake their head at all of it. So good. So good.
Shield.
This was really good and worth the $5.99. The main story is the man called Death, and how he's, if he's to be believed, he's either some weird fuck with your head guy, or he's the immortal Leonardo da Vinci, who has been giving information to heads of S.H.I.E.L.D., directors of S.H.I.E.L.D., before making them forget it, as he manipulates, and he says, oh, before I get this in, there's always a cost. An eye, and they show a picture of Nick Fury, a heart, and they show Tony Stark, your mind, and they show, remember that Green Goblin was the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. at one point. So everybody that's ever been a director of S.H.I.E.L.D. has got, it has cost them something. Really good story. Great. Mark Waid writes a great Coulson.
Is this the
then we get
show one?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's Marvel Universe, but it's got show-esque characters. Then we've got Al Ewing, who I love, with his setup for Howling Commandos. The only thing I don't like, all right, so Duncan Dugan is back. Dum Dum Dugan is back, but Dum Dum Dugan is still an LMD. I really wanted him to be back. He knows he's a self-aware LMD, but also for whatever reason, these live model decoys that are supposed to be so impossible to tell apart from, for some reason, all the Dum Dum Dugan ones come with glowing red Terminator eyes.
Subtle.
With the black on red, and from a distance he's Gambit, from up close he's the Terminator. And I'm like, no.
Lazy.
If you're gonna give me Dum Dum Dugan, you make him look like Dugan. Agent Sitwell is a zombie. And apparently Dugan started this Howling Commandos when he was alive with the monster idea, but they've since made a major mess of it, and he's not happy. They also recruit one of my favorite characters from the Superior Iron Man run. Their first mission is, of course, Kid Abomination. So that makes me happy. The 13-year-old Abomination kid just makes me happy. And then there's a reprinting of the first S.H.I.E.L.D. story ever from Strange Tales number 135 by two kooky cats named Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, with Dick Ayers and Artie Simic on inks and letters. So good times. The Sixth Gun wraps it up nicely. Characters evolve, especially White Crow. I love this book, and you should read it. Not
the main one or one of the offshoots?
This is one of the offshoots. This one was written by Brian Hurt. What, it's not Cullen Bunn? No, the man can't write every book, but he tries.
He does.
JLA number 3 is really good and looks beautiful because Brian Hitch. Still that kind of disconnect where you don't know where it fits in any continuity. But who cares, because it's so beautiful, and it's really good. Kryptonian gods are pricks. Everybody knew it. So Green Lantern is lost on Krypton 250,000 years ago, and he's alone there.
Oops.
And everybody else is back on Earth, and Batman is having Superman do some soul searching. Make me feel that I can trust in you. Ooh, Bats. Because Bats is a party pooper. Oddly enough, it actually parallels nicely in Justice League 3001, where Bats and Superman are sitting together and like, look, I know we're not friends now, but we were friends when we were the original us, and you're the only one I feel I can trust on this. But Superman, in that world is a dick. And And it's to get you, but you've got nice parallels of both of these books having Batman going, look, everything seems okay, but I don't trust any of it, and that's kind of my thing, is I have good instincts on that. You're the symbol of trust. Think about this before you buy in with these wrong sides. And in both cases, Batman's instinct is right, and Superman's going to have to do some soul search. One of these Supermen has more of a soul to search, so that's cool. Grayson versus Grayson. Twist inside a twist, but they do mention Max Lord, so I get to go, you know what, you shoot my Beetle. He didn't. That Ted Kord was not shot in the New 52, because he was never Blue Beetle. So, Max Lord, look, since you're going to be pissed over what they do in here, maybe you could vent some of that by shooting Jaime, and then Ted will have to step up. And Ted can make him a promise and be like, look, kid, I'll be the Blue Beetle. And Origin!
Any slight little reason with you.
This, I gave Tim Seeley some shit last week. But this is like some of Tim Seeley's best stuff. I love Grayson. Hands down, every time. The art is gorgeous, and that's Michael Janine. The writer is Tom King. The plot is Tim Seeley and Tom King. So really, I guess I can still give Tim Seeley a hard time because, you know, in the plot and writing we see Tom King's name twice and Tim Seeley's only once. So I suspect that maybe most of the cooler parts are King. But this is a great book, and for everyone who, yeah, I miss Nightwing, but next issue he's going back to Gotham because he hasn't heard from Bruce and he doesn't know what's going on, and he's worried because he's Dick, and that's what he does. There's also some great soul searching / rending that happens in here. Great book. You should be reading Grayson. I guess I had to call it Grayson because calling it Dick would be a whole different book. Big Trouble in Little China. Still by Fred Van Lente and Joe Eisma. Some funny parts, including the destruction, the overloading of the perverted system of the weird little sex bot. But art and story-wise, this is a far cry from what this book started out as. So I don't know if the original team's coming back, but I hope it does, because this...
veering in a wrong direction.
Yeah. Dirk Gently, Holistic Detective Agency. Douglas Adams. I was really worried I wasn't going to like this because I love the books and Douglas Adams is dead, so this really isn't him. But I like this. This is really good. I could try and explain it to you, but as the title implies, it's holistic. I can't just explain a part of this because it's literally all connected, and normally in some far-fetched and crazy-ass kind of ways. Dirk Gently inside is drawn to look like what if basically he acts and looks mostly like David Tennant's The Doctor, but there's something about him that makes you think, what if David Tennant's The Doctor was cosplaying as Morrissey? Or Morrissey was cosplaying as David Tennant's The Doctor.
There
that
makes
more sense. Princeless Book 4 focuses on the dragon and goblins. Goblins make me happy. They just do.
They're damn amusing.
It's like the dragon and goblins versus like a Pokemon. This weird little plant monster that uses plants to make it look like it's bigger than it is, but really it's not. The art, I don't know why it took me this long, but the art very much reminds me of like just that it's not exact, but Emily Martin's art has a very Phil and Kaja Folio feel. That's always a good thing.
It's just a fun name to say too.
Yes, it is. Dead Drop. I believe this wraps up. Yeah. The Final Fate of Betamax. one of my favorite comic book Cyborgs, because clearly I raved about how great the book Cyborg was earlier. Just good stuff. Not sure what exactly Valiant is up to lately, but the books continue to be good, even when I'm not sure the direction or why they took books that were so great and just, we'll end them and use some of the characters over here and some of them over there. And it's not going to give you an ongoing thing of all the characters you like, because we can. In the hell with you.
We're doing something.
We can do what we want. We do what we want. You want forced continuity? Go read everybody else.
You'll read it.
So, alright, that's it. I miss you already, interwebs.
Thanks for watching another video from GonnaGeek. If you like geeky stuff, check out our podcast network, our news and articles, and our community forums. You can find it all at GonnaGeek.com, like us at Facebook.com/GonnaGeek, tweet us at GonnaGeek, subscribe to our YouTube channel at YouTube.com/GonnaGeek, and check out our live programming at GonnaGeek.com/live.